Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit of $200. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back. All from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 8 at Keeneland on Sunday. A key prep for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, the Grade 2 $350,000 Bourbon. 2-year-olds going a mile and a 16th on the lawn. Let's take a look at this overflow field. It should be a good betting race. We've got 12 in the body of the race, 13 through 16 on the also eligible list. Mike, the 3 Reckoning Force, 7-2 morning line favorite. Game score last time out over a couple of these. Last time out at Kentucky Downs, winning his maiden in that stake spot.
It'll be interesting to see what he does here, Dan. As the favorite, I'm inclined to sort of make him prove it. Not that I don't think he's a major contender here. He did run well in winning that stakes race last time. I don't know. I thought this race sort of went beyond the horses exiting that juvenile at Kentucky Downs, though.
It'll be very interesting to see how this race plays out from a pace standpoint. We'll throw up the Timeform US pace projector. A couple of horses in here are adding blinkers for the first time. The 5 Rarefied Flare, the 10 Really Good. The 9 Gigante was on the lead last time out at Colonial. I would expect him to be a little bit closer than where the pace projector has him. Bapio is a pace pressing winner of the With Anticipation, the number 6, and should be close as well.
Yeah, I think so. I thought the pace was pretty hard to decipher here. I mean, I suppose Really Good, if only because he's drawn out wide in post 10, could come out of there running, looking for a position, but I didn't really view him as a front runner.
Breaking from the inside is the number 1. That's B Minor, who scored on dirt last time out, going a 1-turn mile. He's raced previously on the turf. That was his career debut, going 7/8 over that testing Kentucky Downs turf course. Didn't do much running that day, but did take some money. Draws inside, could save valuable ground, and I think the 1 B Minor is going to be looking for some pace up front to attack.
Yeah, probably. I mean, listen, he didn't do that much running in his debut on turf, but I did think that was a pretty strong race overall. He obviously improved on dirt last time, but there's plenty of pedigree here, Dan, to give this horse another chance back on the grass.
Panama is the number 2 European Invader, who scored in the second lifetime start, going 6 furlongs in England. North American debut came in a one other than allowance race at Kentucky Downs, and I thought all in all it was an okay performance to get up and score. One of the horses that he beat did come back to earn a stakes placing on dirt at Remington with a 70 buyer. I think this horse has upside, and I think he'll get the extra distance.
I agree with all that stuff. I liked his win last time. It didn't come back fast, but the horse that he ran down, Stud Lovin', was odds on and made the first move, opened a clear lead. This horse was dead game to close him down, I thought, and I also liked both of his starts over in England.
Now, the 3 Reckoning Force was beaten by Really Good at Saratoga earlier in the summer. He came back to win that stakes race at Kentucky Downs last time out. I thought all in all, the trip and pace scenario worked out for him that day. He sort of settled in mid-pack. He came to the outside. He looked good finishing it off. Now I'd like to see him do it over a more conventional course. He's going to be a relatively short price with Rosario back aboard.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about him. I mean, I don't have, any kind of huge knock on his win last time. I thought he ran fine, but I wasn't blown away by the performance. And I just, at the end of the day, didn't really like his first 2 starts at Saratoga. He was okay in those races, but I didn't think he did anything special, and I wouldn't want a short price back on him in here.
He nipped the number 4 Deer District in that race at Kentucky Downs. That was Deer District's first start following a maiden victory on the Weeds at Ellis Park. He added blinkers that day. He ran just fine. He has a nice tactical gear, Mike, where I think he can sort of settle in the second flight and get first run on the true closers.
I'll agree with that. I think he can get the right trip in this race. I wasn't, blown away by his first turf start there at Ellis Park. When he won, I thought he, worked a little too hard there to get the job done. Another horse out of that Kentucky Downs race, Dan, he ran fine in there. He got a really good trip. He was second best.
Rarefied Flare won a 4-horse photo at Saratoga 2 starts back. He got up close to the pace. He surged to the front in mid-stretch, and he was life and death to hold on by a head. He came back in the Kitten's Joy, was 1-5 at Colonial that day, and I really couldn't see the excuse when beaten by Gigante. Julian Leperoux just sort of raided him back off of the pace. He made first run at Gigante, who was pressured on the lead, and he just wasn't good enough.
I agree with all that stuff. I think Gigante was just better than this horse last time. 2 back when he broke his maiden at Saratoga. I'm not even sure that you could argue he was best in there. The runner-up in that race might have been best and just got free a little bit too late and couldn't catch this horse. I guess the flip side of all that, Dan, is the first turf start, he actually ran really well. He was very close to a fast and contested pace, and he got caught in traffic in the stretch.
He'll get blinkers and will likely show positional speed in here under Corey Lannery. Boppy O scored last time out in his turf debut. He's another runner by the hot first crop sire Bolt Dioro. He's a half to Papa Cap, a graded stakes winner that placed in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year. Here's his win in the With Anticipation. And this race just did not grade out very fast from start to finish. The pace was extremely slow. Boppio was sitting just off that slow pace, got the jump on everybody turning into the stretch, and he holds them all off. And the winner is, who's back in this field, is going to end up finishing a flat third.
Yeah, that's true enough. I didn't love the performance from Man. The winner is this horse. Listen, if anybody who was smart enough to look at the Spa Babies video before that race was on this horse, I wasn't smart enough to do it. He got the job done at a big price. That being said, I don't think I want him back in this race, Dan.
He is going to be taking a step up. That race hasn't come back very good just yet, the grade 3 With Anticipation, but he's a well-bred horse with good tactical speed. Hendrickson is the 7. This is a son of Nyquist. The dam was a graded stakes winner on the dirt, and this one goes out for trainer Graham Motion. Major improvement, like many Motion second-time starters. This race came at Presque Isle Downs. Blinkers came on. The horse improved. I think the distance really helped. Now he needs to take another step forward. He beat a couple of minor next-out winners.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what he does here back on the turf. Because, listen, I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt for the first turf race, and he did improve second time out. But there's not enough turf pedigree here for me to think that this is going to be his surface.
And number 8, Accident. Let's give him some credit. It's a little bit of a throwback. He's a 2-year-old that's already run 7 times. Some horses don't run that much in their careers anymore. Accident's yet to win, though. He's going to be stretching out for the first time. He's going to be one of the biggest prices on the board.
Should be the longest shot on the board, and I thought he was really, really hard to like in here.
Gigante has really stepped forward since stretching out in distance for trainer Steve Asmussen. He's a son of Not This Time. He scored on turf last time out in that aforementioned Kitten's Joy race, a race in which he showed good speed from the rail. He took heat from a long shot on the outside on the backstretch, shrugged him off, and then just wouldn't let Rarefied Flair get into it. I like the way he finished that race off. I'm concerned he didn't beat a great group.
I'm concerned about that too. Although, listen, it feels like Rarefied Flair is a contender in this race, and it was really no contest last time. I mean, this horse won that race handily, right on the lead. He also ran really well on dirt 2 starts back when he overcame a really bad stumble at the start to win. This horse looks like he has a pretty good amount of ability.
Really Good is the number 10, and I thought he lived up to his name in his debut at Saratoga. Got a very nice ride under Luis Saez in that 2-turn turf race, sort of an in-out trip from mid-pack, and he readily went by the leader in the stretch. I think he ran a little bit better than it looks last time out of Kentucky Downs, Mike. He was up close to the pace. He was in with a big chance turning into the stretch. It looked like he was kind of getting herded down towards the inside late. Maybe that bugged him. Maybe the blinkers helped him focus a little more.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I feel like of the 3 exiting that juvenile Kentucky Downs, this one finished 3rd of the 3, but he was the one that I would want out of that race. I liked his debut. He looked the part that day before the race. He also got a really good trip. I mean, they were really rolling in front of him there, and he just sat off. It came to the outside in the stretch, and then he closed down another first-time starter there, Coach Petro, who has not come back to run very well. I don't know, Dan. I like this horse. I just don't love him. I want to see what kind of price he is.
Our Dream Ride, the 11. I think there's a case to be made for this horse at 20-1 on the morning line. He won his turf debut in his second lifetime start. Again, like Graham Motion, Ian Wilkes horses tend to improve with experience off the debut. He came from off to pace to win that race at a big price and in the With Anticipation. If anyone wants to make the argument he was completely pace compromised, I'm with you.
Yeah, that he probably didn't have his best chance there. I would have liked to see him do a little bit of running in that race, though, maybe make some kind of an impact, and he didn't do that. And then, you can add to that, you go back to the maiden win first time on turf, and it was just a total meltdown, a really fast contested pace, and he just had a clean run into it and rolled by in the stretch. I'm not sure how good this horse is, Dan.
Last horse in the body of the field's the 12, and the winner is, and it looked like he was going to be the winner of the With Anticipation on the second turn. He was sitting just off the lead, ready to pounce on the outside, and we just saw he was flat in the final strides. Now, it was his first time going a mile and a 16th. Maybe he'll benefit, but now he has a very difficult outside post.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to be a big price, I can see, maybe using him somewhere and giving him a chance. I thought it was really impressive winning his career debut over this turf course. And, listen, he just didn't really do that much with a really good trip last time. Although, as we saw on that replay, Dan, he got right alongside Boppio mid-stretch and then he just couldn't quite seal the deal.
13 through 16 on the also eligible list. I guess the two best are the 13 Mendel Secret, a debut winner at Kentucky Downs, the 14 General Jim, who came from off the pace for Shug McGahee. But if either one of these horses get into the race, they're going to have to deal with a very tough post. Mendel Secret speed would play.
It probably would. I mean, they'd have to use them from that outside post if they wanted to make the lead. But either one of the 13 or 14 could contend here if they get in.
Should be a fun race. It's the Bourbon, one of two graded stakes races at Keeneland on Sunday. We take a look at our top selections for this race. I like the way Gigante got away from Rarefied Flair last time out at Colonial. He's gotten better with distance. He's shown the ability to lead and rate. He goes out for great connections. 4-1 on the morning line, a little bit light, Mike, but I think this horse has some potential.
Yeah, I do too. I really struggled with this race, Dan. I don't really know who I like. Had a tough time making cases for anyone. I wound up with the same horse that you have on top. I also want to use the number 2 Panama, who's going to stretch out here. I like all three of his starts.
Could work out a nice trip breaking from post position 2. Panama, Luis Saez's name to ride. 9-2-10-12 for Mike, 9-10-5-3 for me. It's the Bourbon, a prep for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Race 8 Sunday at Keeneland. Approximate post 5:10 Eastern. Good luck.